Hi, I'm Kelsey from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com, and today I'm going to show you how I make Chèvre from my goat's milk. Now, Chèvre is hands down one of the easiest cheeses you can make, and it only requires a few tools and a few ingredients. So one of the main things you're going to need, especially if you're making cheese regularly, is a dedicated cheese pot. It's really nice to have, so that's all you ever have in it. A lid for your pot. You also want a knife for slicing your curds, so this is a nice long one that will reach all the way to the bottom for slicing a curd. And in terms of ingredients, you're going to need a gallon of goat's milk. There's just a quart, so I got 4 of these sitting here ready to go. And you're also going to need your culture for your milk. So I get from the New England Cheesemaking Supply Company. They are one of the biggest suppliers for home dairies, and they have a whole lot of different cultures you can use. I like to just get their Chèvre starter culture because this has the rennet, which is what's going to coagulate your milk, and it also has the culture, which is going to give your milk the flavor. You can also make this with a mesophilic culture and a rennet, but I have found I like the results better with just the pack of Chèvre. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1 gallon of goat's milk to my stock pot here. And this goat's milk has been sitting for just a little bit, so people do say that goat's milk you won't get cream, but if you let it sit for a little while, you absolutely will get that cream separation. I want to make sure I get that in my cheese so it's a good, thick, creamy cheese. So now I'm going to let this slowly come to temperature. We are shooting for 86 degrees Fahrenheit, so we've got quite a ways to go. A lot of times when I'm going to be making cheese later in the day, I try and remember in the morning, I'll just set the milk out and let it kind of come to temperature slowly, but we're going to be using the stovetop to expedite that process. You want to make sure that you keep stirring and stir pretty often so that way you don't have any scorching of your milk. So as usual, it got a little bit away from me, got a little over 86, but that is not the end of the world. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add in my packet of Chèvre culture. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top, and then we're going to let it just sit like that for 2 minutes. That's going to allow that powdered culture to rehydrate. Alright, it's been 2 minutes, so now I'm going to really thoroughly stir in that culture and that rennet. And then after this, we are going to cover the pot and we are going to just let it sit for 12 hours. Now after about 12 hours, it should look like this, where you can see a clear separation between the whey and the cheese. And I like to go by hand and remove the cheese from the pot and put it in a colander that is lined with cheesecloth. We've got several layers of cheesecloth on sort of a metal sieve that's then on a bowl. And you can do this with a slotted spoon too, but I just prefer to do it by hand. After that, you are going to tie up the edges of your cheesecloth. I like to do sort of a crosswise pattern here, but whatever you like to do will work just fine, I'm sure. And then I use a hair tie to wrap that around to hold it in place, and the hair tie is also what I'm going to use to hang it then from my cupboard door. I will have it hanging over the bowl with the sieve just in case something should come loose. I don't want my whole bag full of Chèvre to just fall into the whey. Then after it hangs for 6 to 8 hours, you can go ahead and take it down. And you can let it hang for longer. The longer you have it hanging, the drier cheese you're going to get. After that, I crumble it up in a bowl. And you can kind of see here that it's a little bit of a drier texture. I like to get it good and crumbly here because I'm now going to add some salt to it, and I want to make sure the salt gets really evenly dispersed. You want to do about a tablespoon of salt, and then you just kind of taste it and see if maybe you need to add a little bit more or not, but I find a tablespoon usually works well. Then after that, I usually just pack it into a Tupperware container or a glass container and store it in the fridge. It'll keep for several weeks. If If you want to, if you're going to be serving it as an appetizer, you can put it in a mold. You can use just a regular bowl as a mold. I have some cheese molds here. To do that, you want to first line your mold with your cheesecloth. This is going to prevent your cheese from sticking. Then put your cheese in the mold. Cover it again with the cheesecloth, and then use something to press down to keep it in its shape. One tip is you want to make sure you always rinse out your cheesecloth. Don't just throw it in the wash because you will get some mold. So I like to give my cheesecloth a good rinse and then hang it to dry somewhere, and then it will go in the laundry. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Check back our channel. Every week we have new videos about farming, family food, and fortitude here at our rough and tumble farmhouse.